Hey everyone, how are you doing? You have Mike here, and today what we're going to do is show you how we set up our 4x8 Vivosun grow tent. You guys are probably wondering, we've already seen all this stuff a million times before, and well, you're probably right. If you just looked at the how to set up a tent, you probably have. But we're going to cover a little bit more than that in this episode. We're going to show you how we've done it to make this more of an urban stealth grow. I think that's something that's a little bit more helpful to people than just setting up a tent. So this tent here was sent over by Vivosun, guys, and like I said, this is the 4x8 version of this tent. So I want to start out just by first briefly getting into a little bit of a stealth grow and talking about that, because stealth basically covers, well, three things. We shouldn't be able to hear it, we shouldn't be able to see it, and we definitely shouldn't be able to smell it. So we're going to cover all those three steps here in our video, and a couple of tricks that we picked up from you guys, as well as just experienced people that through time have passed down some of this information. So let's get into it. So starting off at the very first thing, we're looking at light proofing. So this should be a very obvious one. You don't want to be able to see your grow from outside. It's just if you're doing this inside, you definitely do not want to see this outside. So the very first thing that you can do is have a tent like this. This is your very first line of defense. This here works great in order to kill the light, also the smell and everything else. So very first of all, we want to cover what we have done in order to light proof our room. So the first thing we did, very simply set up a normal set of blinds in the window. What we've done after that is we put a light dampening curtain behind it, and then we've taped that to the wall, so no extra light can escape anywhere around it. It just kind of makes it really simple, and it's a foolproof option. From outside, all you see is a set of blinds on the inside, and you don't see much more than that. So it still looks like a normal window. We didn't put garbage bags or pieces of cardboard in the window. I wouldn't do that. That's the telltale sign that you're trying to do something to cover up the light, so definitely wouldn't use those two tactics. Alright, so now that we covered our basics with our window and basically making that a little bit light proof, let's talk about what we've done onto the floor. So this here is actually a big one, guys. We have totally, we're trying to make this, as like I said, as quiet as possible, and the best way to do that, especially when you're living in a building, or if you're living in a, like a large apartment building or something, and we have neighbors above and below, is you really want to get rid of that noise. Now, remember, noise will definitely go down into the ground. So if you have, vibration in your fan, basically anything like that, it's going down. You have rumbling buckets on the floor if you're growing in hydro, or just, have a reservoir or anything like that, that's going to go down. So the first thing that we've done is we've built a foam floor. It cost us, like 35 bucks Canadian. We got a floor down, and that's going to totally eliminate all of that noise just going to the ground. So really simple, really cheap solution, but it's going to have a huge effect. So this is something we're doing proactively. So I would like to show another little trick. So for that, we're going to have to jump back in time a little bit. So let's go take a look at the install of the filtration. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to install the window piece. Now, we live in northern Ontario, so it's really cold out here, and the plastic pieces that come are basically just a piece of plastic. So one thing that you're going to want to do if you're going to use this, at least in winter time, is you're going to want to stick some foam in between this gap, and that is going to really help with the insulation, so you're not getting so much cold air back into your house. All right, so I'm going to get this set back up into the window, which basically sits there in my window like so, and then I'm going to get my hose and we're going to route it through the top. So I'm going to get started with that now. Okay, so the piece that I was just holding, you can get one of those on Amazon. That one there I purchased, I can't even remember how much it was, but I will put a link down below for one. That is just a window kit for an air conditioner, and it works great for these 6-inch vents. So now what I'm going to do is pull out the Vivosun vent, and we're going to get this routing up to the nearest possible space to go up to, and it's going to be on this one. Now, your ultimate goal is this: if you can try to get as less bends as possible, the better. That is going to help increase the airflow. Unfortunately, we do have to do 3 bends. It's just the way it is for this setup, so I'm going to get started on it now. So while I'm actually pulling this out and talking about it, Vivosun also does offer a silencer. So if you're looking for a silencer, that would definitely help with your stealth grow, if that's what you're trying to do, like this, what we're trying to do here. But I don't really need it where I am located. It's just not something that I need. but maybe that is something you need, so I will put that as an option here for you as well. So the cool part about this kit is it does come with the connectors, with the clamps, which is really cool. And this one here, I think we went with 25 feet, so we had enough. All right, so the next thing we do before we get everything sized out is let's get our ventilation all set up. So I'm gonna get my blower up here. So this here is Old Faithful. This has been running for probably about 2 years now. This here is the Vivosun 6-inch blower. You guys have all seen this one here. It's actually been pretty reliable unit for me. We were using it for a couple of years for the venting out. Then we're also using it for blowing air in. So we're going to use this here set up right now for venting out. So let's get started. Now, normally you get these straps here with this with the tents. I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to use these. Now, what we're going to use is some bungee cords. Now, why are we going to use bungee cords? Well, this is going to help with our stealth aspect, because if this thing is here vibrating on your tent, it's actually making a shaking vibration sound. With the bungee cords, it's actually going to eliminate that noise altogether. It will make it a little bit quieter, and that's what we're going for. We don't want to transfer any of this noise energy to the ground, so bungee cords are going to help with that. So this is what we're going to use. So you can see here, this actually has some bounce now. It's going to take some of the shock off of it. It's going to make it a little bit quieter on the floor. So since this is plastic, you don't want to go too tight, but you want to go till it feels snug. You don't want this popping off in the middle of the night, and then you're having some serious issues in your tent. So you definitely don't want that to happen. So make sure you're doing this really carefully, and make sure it's nice and snug. Guys, so now that we're done installing our filtration, let's do a little recap here and make sure that we covered everything. So we started out, we did our window, we started out with the blind, and then we put the heavy blind over top of that to make sure that it was all kind of sealed, and we taped around the edges to make sure that it was light sealed. So one thing that I didn't really mention is you should go outside, do a walk around to make sure that no light really is escaping. So that's something that you should definitely consider doing. So after that, we had set up our floor, and our floor was really going to help with our sound. So having our tent set up on top of that floor, any vibration or noise that's going on in the tent is really going to be muffled for anything going down or just into the building itself. The next thing that we did was we installed the filtration, which was the 6-inch Vivosun blower, and we also installed the fat filter, which is a special filter that I had purchased. It was a little bit higher end because it's a horticulture graded filter, and it works really well. So there are still a couple things that I didn't really cover, but I think for our situation here, I think this is pretty much all that we need. Now, if you're really looking at being a truly stealth grow, there's definitely things you're going to want to consider. Definitely don't be telling people what you're doing. Making YouTube videos about it probably isn't the best way to go about doing that. If you live in a legal state or not, there's all different things that are going to take into consideration when you're setting up your grow. So things are going to be a little different from everywhere. It's not legal, it's not illegal from where I am, and I'm also a medical grower, so I can get away with a lot more than other people can because of that situation. So if you're in an illegal state, you're probably not, like I said, going to be telling anybody about your grow. You're probably going to take a little bit more precautions. You're probably going to use a silencer. You're probably going to maybe use products like Uno to help change the smell to, laundry detergent, something like that. So there is going to be slight differences. For what we need here, this is going to work great. So alright guys, I'm going to take all of the products that we use in this video, I'm going to throw them down into the description. So if there's something that you're looking for, maybe this has sparked an idea for you. If you want to purchase from those links, it does help us out on the channel. So yeah, anyways guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I would like to thank everyone for watching. You all have yourself a great day. Take care.